It goes without saying that men and women are not equal. Yeah, it's insane that you need to make these reminders, but that's the reality we deal with. Women are encouraged to act like men, so they pursue jobs, careers, degrees they don't like, and more to feel like they can be better than men. However, their independence and success looks menial once they're getting divorced and suddenly they need the husband's money at all costs.
I think this isn't going to work out. We need to get out of this. How do we get the ball rolling sort of thing? And it was a half an hour conversation. I'm driving my car and I was in a position where I was just like, are you serious? Like this is how things go in family law. I thought you just got divorced. I didn't realize that you've got issues to deal with, like false domestic violence charges. You're probably not going to see your kid. If you're a father, you don't want to go to court. You're going to lose, all of these things that sort of popped up in the conversation. I'm like, well, hold on a second. I thought men and women were equal. Like, didn't feminism level the playing field for everybody and we can just part ways? But no, it's not that simple. So that was probably the first red pilling moment. I think it's also one of the first red pilling moments for a lot of guys too, is when they start going through the divorce machine as well.
There's definitely a lot of sticky areas in there, and whether if kids are involved and sort of like the direction that usually goes with custody, or I don't know. I have been divorced, but I don't have kids. But also just, even talking about like allegations, like women do get away with a lot. I really think there's a lot on both sides. Like there's a lot that men get away with. There's a lot that women get away with. And it's a matter of just stopping the bullshit of getting away with something and just have integrity and have honor and do the right thing.
Integrity is modern women's kryptonite, and the vast majority of them are not embracing this virtue anytime soon. No wonder why men are getting sick and tired of making concessions to women.
That's what you'd hope for, but the reality isn't that from the perspective of usually the leave-or, because there's a leavee and a leave-or.
Yeah.
And the person leaving the other that wants to stay in the relationship doesn't want it to end. So you're in a bad bargaining position if you're a dude leaving a woman and she wants you to stay, and family law is almost completely on her side. Well, to be honest, family law is mostly completely on the side of the person that makes more money, that brought more to the table. If you have kids, it's also on the side of the person that gave birth to the kid. In most instances, because women are hypergamous by nature, they tend to marry across and up on the socioeconomic scale. So they tend to marry up to guys for the most part. Not all women do. So guys are in a position where they have to deal with that whole, okay, well, what do I deal with? Like, how do I deal with everything I brought to the table? How do I deal with my future income? The notion that someone that you married for a few years has rights to a decade or decades or even a lifetime of your future income is absolutely absurd to me, given that men and women are equal under the, the guise of, feminism today.
Let's talk about that hypergamy. I basically sit here in my life and go, I'm fucked. Like, what do I do? Right? If a woman dates lateral and up and a woman dates lateral and up and a man dates sort of lateral and down when it comes to success and finances, status, and a woman is intelligent, that hurts her, earning, intelligence, whatever. Like, what do I do?
I'll tell guys in honesty that you're in a better position to marry a woman that's on the same par as you, if not higher. Right? Because that almost removes most of the risk of losing your nest egg and any future income. My ex-wife's a lawyer, she's very successful. So that really wasn't a huge issue as far as, nest egg and division of assets. It was more dealing with, the child custody issue because we've got a daughter. But for women that, like I assume that you've done well in life, you've raced cars. I don't know, what the total record is, although I am a huge car enthusiast, but I don't watch a lot of car racing. It's weird because I love driving supercars, but I don't like watching other people drive supercars. I don't find it as interesting as driving them myself.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I don't watch that much racing, but now that I do more commentating and I'm a host I do a little bit for F1, NASCAR, and IndyCar. I obviously keep up with everything, but
yeah. I really find the job they did on the Netflix series, Drive to Survive, really good on the Formula One thing. But it's got to be difficult for you if you're a successful woman to find a guy and get into a long-term relationship, because the thing with successful older guys is, like, men peak a little bit later on in life than women do, right? Like, men reach their sexual market peak in their late 30s. And the thing that women don't like is they peak in their early 20s. And that's just an unfortunate reality of the sexes. And it's always been that way. Men have always been success objects to women, and women have always been beauty objects to men. So men tend to date younger women.
Go into peak, though. What does peak mean?
Well, men are valued based on their competency skills, what they can do, you know, like that little dent that they can put in the universe sort of thing. Whereas men don't usually care about women's degrees. They don't usually show a lot of interest in their degrees on the wall, framed in mahogany with little letters after the name sort of thing. It's grand and it's noble and all that sort of stuff, but there's no guy that ever said, oh yeah, look at the degree on her, right? Guys will look at a woman and say, look at whatever on her as she's walking away sort of thing. That's how men operate. You know, they're visual in the sense that they see women as beauty objects, and they've always been treated as beauty objects, even though society tries to change that today.
Hypergamy has always been a womanly trait and will never go away, no matter how certain ideologies try to make women believe that a man can be vulnerable, weak, and even feminine. Women always date or marry up, period. And well, if a woman is too successful, that will backfire and probably get her sex zoned, especially if she's bossy and argumentative. Let's take a look at the comments. I love the part where she says maybe we should change what we're attracted to. 1, you mean now that you've aged out and can't get the guys you want? 2, we know your dating history and also know you're not dating any fat bus drivers who make $30K a year. Biology can't be altered. You can fight against it and be miserable. It's hardwired in us. That's why when Rich speaks, guys are like, yep, instinctively. I found majority of women, including her, are shocked to learn that men want them for easy and frequent access to intimacy. Men want women for biological reasons. It does not compute for most of them. So shocking. What she said, cooking, cleaning, companionship, comfort, planning nice things, aka blow all savings. How many women today are good at cooking and cleaning? I'm not into culinary, but I found my own cooking is better than most women I know. Besides, these things come along with sex. It's unlikely she would do any of these without wanting to have sex in the first place. Hypergamy is an evolutionary survival technique that ensures the female and then her kids are looked after by the strongest, most resourceful man, Rich Cooper. Rich, that was great. You had a successful woman like Danica Patrick on because you proved your point about society trying to change what today's modern women thinks attracts men. Again, she thinks that sexual attraction is an equal part component in a pie chart along with personality, similar interests, and intelligence, etc. Sexual attraction is always at the top of the list of what men instinctively want. Everything after that is a subcategory. No matter how this society continues to try to pitch this equal parts attraction package that women are sold on what makes them attractive to men, they need to have the counterpunch of reality that you speak to hammer home the point that biologically, the main trait that attracts men to women is and always will be the desire to want to have sex with them based on their beauty. Guys, thanks for checking out this video. Stay tuned for more daily content. Like, subscribe, and comment. See you in the next video, guys. Till next time.